Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast. Thank you so much for checking out another brand new episode. Today's features singer-songwriter Dane Louis from Nashville, Tennessee. Had a lot of fun linking up with Dane on Zoom, talking about some brand new music he's working on, and including his new single, Fire, that is available everywhere you get your digital music at now. And you can find everything at DaneLouisOfficial.com. Get plugged in with him on the socials and let him know what you think of Fire. I do want to remind you, as always, Rock Paper Podcast is brought to you by Friendship Brewing Company in Wentzville, Missouri, serving up all your craft beer needs. Over 25 rotating taps out there, and all kinds of delicious food. So come on out for some dinner, get some burgers, nachos, flatbread pizzas, pretzels, and get yourself a tasty beverage to go with it. And you get some great live music happening out there also. On Thursdays, they've been doing Singo Bingo. And this week on January 26th is Modern Pop. And on January 27th, Friday night, Jeff Waltshauser. January 28th, Saturday night, Josh Littig. And you can find their full concert calendar, beer menu, and food menu at friendshipbrewingcompany.com. Again, they are located in downtown Wentzville, Missouri. And if you are in the Hannibal, Missouri area, you are in luck. Friendship Brewing Company is coming to you, opening a brand new location very soon in 2023 here, so keep your eyes peeled for that. More info coming soon. I will be sure to let you know as soon as I know. But yeah, so if you got friends in the area, tell them to check out Friendship Brewing Company today. If you need anything from me, you can always find me at rockpaperpodcast.com. Hit me up on the socials. Email me, rockpaperpodcast@gmail.com. I would love to hear from y'all. And with that out of the way, sit back, relax, and enjoy a brand new episode with Dane Louis.
Podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
Hey y'all, it's Dane Louis, and you're listening to Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Scissors beat paper, paper covers rock. Rock beats scissors, Shane covers non-stop. Never know what new kind of guest that he's got coming at you. Live and direct on the spot. Could be rock, folk, country, or hip-hop, jazz. All kind of folks that he has. Could be an artist or a comedian to make you laugh on the
Rock Paper Podcast.
double-decker fudge round, rolling round town. Shane coming at you live and direct from ground zero. He's your hero, he's your bestie. Rock Paper Podcast with Shane Presley.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri, hanging out via Zoom with Dane Louis.
How's it going?
Good, man. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Shan. I appreciate it.
Yeah, this is very cool. I've been doing quite a few. I did a lot of stuff via Zoom during the pandemic, and got me out linking up with some people around the country, and it was a lot of fun getting to meet all kinds of new people.
Right.
A lot of times my show kind of focuses on St. Louis because it's a lot easier to record with my friends around town, and
Sure.
but this is a fun way to kind of branch out and get to meet a lot of new people. And
Absolutely.
yeah, so you were you are based out of Nashville now, but you're home for the holidays, you were saying, right?
Yeah, I actually drove through St. Louis the other night. I went. I'm from out of Nashville now. I'm from Sioux City, Iowa, originally, which is a tri-state area, South Dakota, and Nebraska, and Iowa, right there. So that's where home is. So
Yeah.
Yep, back for the holidays.
Yeah, right on. This your parents' kitchen there or something?
Yeah, my mom's kitchen.
Yeah.
So just that was where I had a charger for a laptop. So
Nice. Yeah. Well, shout out to mom. And well, you got your pup with you too, Estelle, right?
yeah, it's Otis. Yeah, he's a big annoying Bernese Mountain Dog, but
Yeah.
he likes attention. So
Yeah.
he's running all over.
Yeah. We got Java is like a 8-year-old pit boxer mix.
Oh yeah.
And then I have a Storm. She's like a year and a half. Like she's a mutt. She's a rescue. Both of them are
They're the
rescues.
best dogs, though, man. They're the best.
She's like Great Pyrenees and Australian Shepherd or something like that.
Oh, that's an awesome mix. That kind of winds up looking like Otis does. Yeah. No, he just turned 2 last Friday.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I've been
all over.
I caught some checked out some of your doing a little bit of homework. I checked out your TikTok and I saw a couple of videos with him and
Yeah.
so
Thanks, man. No, I like to get goofy on TikTok and just kind of keep it lighthearted. So it's fun.
That's what it's all about, man. Yeah, just having a good time.
Yeah. No, it's a lot of fun. All kinds of goofy stuff going on there every day.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that's I think it's important as a creative, like to do that kind of stuff, like kind of let people. That's that's the one nice thing I would say really about the social media aspect is like kind of letting people in on your own life, a little bit to where you see you more as a person instead of just the singer and stuff. So
that's it, man. And it kind of leads into people's humanity, rather than just some person that you can't communicate with or talk to. So that's nice.
It does kind of stink that it's like, become a job in a sense, managing all that stuff. And
my PR team definitely reminds me of that and how bad I do the job some days. But no, it's quite a task for a lot of people. I know people that do it full time and that's their job, and that's kind of a crazy deal. But it's fun for sure too.
I almost, except for I have to go to work after this, but I almost got some beverages to partake with you.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
I noticed you're the shotgunning some beers and
yeah, I got to catch up on that too. I got that's another one of my assignments on my social media calendar. I got to get back on shotgunning beers.
Yeah,
no, it's a little early for me to start typically, but there's been days that I've gone after it around noon.
Hey, that's what the holidays are good for, man.
Exactly. 'Tis the season to drink at noon.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So I guess I kind of, like I said before we hit record, I don't really know much about you. I know I did listen to some music, and but I know this is what's fun about this is just where we can get to know a little more about each other. And
sure.
I guess take me back. So you said you're back at home. Is that where all of it started for you there?
Yeah, man. Back right before I got into high school, I kind of started playing guitar just as a little hobby thing, and I wanted to wrestle really bad. I was kind of really big on wrestling, and my dad didn't want me to wrestle because he was worried I'd get hurt or starve myself or something like that. He was just kind of on a trope about he didn't really want me to do it, and he goes, well, why don't you just take your guitar that you got and start taking some lessons? And I was like, I don't really want to do that. And he goes, all right, well, if you take guitar lessons for a week, you take one guitar lesson and you don't like it, then you can wrestle. Do I have a deal? And I said, no, I want to wrestle. And he goes, too bad, you're going to take the guitar lesson. And it was kind of funny. And I took it, and instantly I just ran with it from there. I didn't want to do anything else. So started a high school band, and we had some small victories. We wound up opening for Marshall Tucker Band and a couple other little smaller groups, and then wound up joining a hard rock group near the end of high school, and we had an offer for Warped Tour and something else that was kind of going to lean our way, but parents wouldn't let me drop out of high school as a junior, so that was a good thing. And so left that group and started a country band called Saviors and Outlaws, and then we wound up going through so many lineup changes that I just decided to go out as a solo artist. And so that's kind of where I landed back in about 2018. And I've been doing it that way ever since, and it's been good to me so far. So now I've had my band line up with me for about, we've had a couple changes too, but for the most part, my core group of guys have been with me for about 2 years. My one guitarist for 7 years, one bass player for 3 years, drummer for 2 years. And our new guitar player, we're just trying him out, Warren. He's been with us for going on a year now. So I let them name themselves. So we're kind of doing Dane Louis and the Devil Knows Who for the band name. So,
all right.
But yeah, it's been good, man. It's kind of cool to get back to the stomping grounds here and kind of remember a lot of the places I started with music and where it led me out before it led me out to Nashville.
Yeah. Well, I guess so. You have your current single right now is Whiskey Wears Off, right?
Right.
She says, boy, why don't you just come home with me tonight? Maybe somewhere in the darkness we can find a light. On a sick collision course, this way life dies. It's feeling like we owe ourselves to give it a try. Said, no, I've been here before. So many burning houses, I just run for the door. She asked me, boy, why you trying to move so fast? Dreamt this night forever, why can't we make it last? 'Cause I might not love you when the whiskey wears off. Just a cold hard truth from a soul's been lost. Like a ship out at sea with no water to cross. The thought of us together's like a dream I forgot. Just looking for a little bit of healing tonight. There's something about it, baby, it doesn't feel right. Like a radio played in a worn out song. I might not love you when the whiskey wears off. When the whiskey wears off. It ain't just what you did to me, but rather what you did to me is all I can see. I spent so many nights and had to wake up alone. Can't bring myself to answer when you blow my phone. 'Cause I might not love you when the whiskey wears off. Just a cold hard truth from a soul's been lost. Like a ship out at sea with no water to cross. The thought of us together's like a dream I forgot. Just looking for a little bit of healing tonight. There's something about it, baby, it doesn't feel right. Like a radio played in a worn out song. I might not love you when the whiskey wears off. When the whiskey wears off. Now here's our one chance dance, what could have been. And when the morning light comes, you'll be all alone again. So whether it's headaches, whether it's heartaches, somewhere in between, there will never be an ever for you and me. 'Cause I might not love you when the whiskey wears off. Just a cold hard truth from a soul's been lost. Like a ship out at sea with no water to cross. The thought of us together's like a dream I forgot. Just looking
I was watching that, and they had the music video up on the YouTube.
Yeah.
And I guess that was all filmed there in Iowa.
Yeah. It was back here at home in Sioux City. So, and that was, we filmed that probably 2 years ago, April, and we did a re-release, or we released it as a new single after I kind of wiped my discography last January on the 19th of January. So then this year, on the 20th, we kind of had a lot of things going on all year, and we're busy, which is good. Busy's good, but we didn't have time to release the songs that we wanted to release. So this January 20th, we're going to be releasing a new single called Fire that we're really, really excited about, as well as a couple more singles that are going to lead into a full EP sometime this summer. So kind of everyone can expect through the months following January, probably once or every other month, be releasing a new single. So,
yeah, man. Well, tell me a little bit about that day. Whiskey Wears Off and that video shoot, because it looked like a real good time, a good party in front of a packed house. And
yeah, it was kind of crazy actually. We the day we shot that video, we had 2 shows and a music video. So we started shooting the video at 11 a.m. Definitely didn't have too much to drink, so we were hungover that morning, the night before. But we started shooting at 11 a.m. and went all day till about 5 or 6 o'clock. Then we had a show, and this is April in Iowa, so it's not really that friendly for temperature-wise. It got, I think it was like probably 40 or 50 degrees out, and we had a show outside at first, and after that, we played that show. It led us to about 7 o'clock, and it was pretty much dark and freezing at that point.
right.
And then so we went after that and filmed the rest of the video in front of the packed house down the road at a different bar. And it was kind of crazy. We're just running all over God's country. And then we played that. We did the music video shoot for about an hour with the crowd there. And then we wound up playing another 3 hours for the people that were there. And yeah, it was a long haul of a day, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool that you get to celebrate in front of your friends and family and hometown crowd and stuff, like getting to do that. But and then I guess a couple months back you made the move to Nashville.
Yeah, April of 2022 is when I moved to Nashville, and that's been really good to me ever since. I've been happy to be there.
So how do you, kind of what goes into that decision this is the time, like it's time to make the move?
Yeah. Well, we wanted to move way before. We visited Nashville for the first time. Me and my old drummer, his little brother drums for us now. He's been with us for about 2 years, but back in 2020, August of 20, I think it was, the pandemic still had most of Nashville shut down, but we went and visited for the first time, and it was good. It was a lot of fun. We met up with a lot of our friends, and even though it was shut down, it was still kind of like, wow, okay, we got to be here. So we set ourselves a goal like 18 months out. Well, then old drummer wound up moving before we did, and now he's playing with Bailey Zimmerman, so they're having a lot of really good success, and
nice.
they're going out on the road with Morgan Wallen and some different guys, and but I kind of had to hold back. My dad got COVID basically in November of 21, and he passed from that, and I had to kind of settle out some different farm estate business stuff, and just it was kind of crazy. I'm an only child, so it's just me and my mom, and so I had to work some stuff out. So even though I wanted to move in, I think originally it was going to be March, and then we pushed it back to January or even December possibly on getting out of here, and then I had to wind up pushing it back a little more, and so it wound up being about April. But try to make it as fast as possible, and we did at least a little bit of a job with that. But my guitar player Nick moved down with me. He moved down in June, so he lives with me down there, and he's from Norfolk, Nebraska, which is about an hour and a half from where I am here. But yeah, no, we've loved it so far, man. It's been good to get a good lay of the land down there, and we got some fun shows coming up this summer. We're kind of trying to book ourselves our own summer tour, and it's been fun. It's been humbling, and it's been good.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm sorry to hear about your dad, man. That's tough.
Yeah, it was crazy times, but no, he left me with a lot of good lessons and things to kind of help carry on. So that was good.
Yeah, I lost my mother in 19 to brain cancer.
Oh man,
and it was we got the call. Things were there was some weird stuff, and then finally we got an answer that it was this brain tumor, and came back as glioblastoma. That was in May of 19, and got the diagnosis in June. What was going on, and then she was gone December 3rd. So, it was like crazy how fast it all went, and then and also like most of the time of that, like she's like nonverbal too. So like it was tough, man, not to really get any kind of goodbye or anything, kind of stuff. Like it was brutal, man.
It is, man. That was how my dad was too. It was 2 weeks in the ICU, and I mean, you got 3 days that I went in, and it was just kind of an ER thing, and then all of a sudden they intubate him, and then that's 3 weeks that just on life support basically, and then that's it. And it's crazy how fast it turns around. I mean, it does just, and that kind of throws you for a whirlwind and try to get your life back together. And sometimes it takes a lot longer, and that's kind of why the last year I haven't really been big out in public about it, but I mean, a lot of my friends and family and some of the fans knew, but it kind of took a year to kind of get the world back together, and that's just the way it is sometimes. But that's why it's been such a lag in releasing music. But we're really excited for 2023 to get out with some new music, and I think it's a good time. It's the right time. However, I don't really believe in coincidences. I think that there's a reason for everything, one way or another. So it's this is the time we're supposed to release this music for whatever reason. So
man. I'm with you. And I'm sure much like yourself, I carry my mother with me everywhere. Like it's like I do like here locally. I did a benefit show, trying to give back to some others. So we did that in 21, and that was like, so I've been trying to do that. I think I'm going to try to do it again, move it to May and this year for 23. And May is actually Brain Cancer Awareness Month. So I figured that might be a little more appropriate to.
There you go.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. That's a great time, man. Like, you'll have to let me know. I'm not that far from St. Louis. I'd love to swing out and say, hey, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool. Yeah, man. Well, so hopefully we'll get you on the road and getting to share some of these new songs, and maybe a swing through St. Louis here and party with us.
Absolutely, man. It ain't too far. Like I said, I went through there the other night. I drove back through the night. I kind of like that, so I beat the traffic. But St. Louis is crazy for traffic, man.
Oh, yeah.
I like going through there about midnight, 1 in the morning, so I don't have to deal with it.
Yeah. There was like a pretty iconic, I guess, photo of from downtown off of I'm pretty sure it's off Broadway or in that area, and it looks like Keno board. It's like it's just like 70, 64. It's like all these different it's like so much happening right there, that highways merging and everything else. So it's a little chaotic sometimes trying to get through there, but it's I'm actually like about 40 miles west of St. Louis where I live, but I spend most of my time hanging out down in the city, going to shows and everything else. So man, it's always a lot of fun down there. I have a good time and enjoy the music. St. Louis, like I don't know, I say it a lot. I've been saying it for years doing the show, but like I feel like St. Louis has kind of been bubbling under as this like hotbed of talent, and we're kind of like, I feel like we're like one of the close to being considered like an Austin or a Nashville or something like that.
Absolutely, man. No, I've heard a lot about that too. It's got to be someone else next. It's you
Yeah.
know, and it's Nashville kind of took over for LA. Nashville and Austin both kind of took over for LA in a lot of different ways. And I mean, LA still got some stuff going on, but it's kind of changing. So I've heard that a lot. My bass player's got a lot of friends in different in like the punk community and different rock bands and stuff like that are centered out at St. Louis. And it sounds like they got a really killer scene out there. We haven't got out there yet, but
Yeah.
no, it's definitely got a hotbed for some cool new stuff coming up.
Well, we got a lot of really great clubs. We got a lot of people investing in new, spots to play. So that's always great that people want to believe in and want to support it. And we've also last year they relaunched a big festival called Music at the Intersection, where they brought in a lot of great headliners, but they also had the lineup stacked full of local favorites. And so that's what I think is like the key to kind of blending those two, putting all of our locals on a stage with the greats that we know, and then and putting them right where they, showing people they belong here just like anybody else. So
that's good, man. That's important.
But yeah, hopefully we I don't know. I feel like people kind of looked at St. Louis like a little bit, when we had Nelly hit and stuff, and a couple things like that, and and then Chingy a couple years later, and but I feel like it's really kind of spotty for like really big acts making it out of St. Louis, and then like a lot of people have moved on, and then still claim St. Louis is home, but so it's just kind of, I feel like we're due.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
it'll ring through, man. It always does. And my hometown is Tommy Bolin, that played with Deep Purple and the James Gang, and he had his own solo career. He's about the only person that really ever got out of Sioux City, Iowa. There's a guy that wound up playing for Taylor Swift, playing guitar for her, that made it out. But the guy that plays for Taylor Swift, you don't really know the name unless you're from here. But it's funny but it always comes in cycles, and hopefully, I think someone will pop out of St. Louis before no time anyways, especially with the internet and TikTok and the way that things are now. There's so many different outlets for artists to make a new footprint that they wouldn't have been able to make years and years ago. So it's definitely the environment for it.
Yeah. So now you're in Nashville. Are you getting to do all the things? You're getting to doing like the songwriter rounds and stuff like that? And
just starting to get into it, man. I kind of stay away from playing on Broadway and stuff like that. It kind of puts you in a different, not in a bad class at all, but I've heard a lot of people get trapped down there and stuff like that because they enjoy the money and they enjoy the gratification of it. And there's nothing wrong with it, by the way. But it's just kind of not the way to get found anymore. And we like to tour out of Nashville more than anything. It's a good place to bump elbows and meet people, and that's kind of what we're there for. But yeah, I played a couple different rounds and during CMA Fest. We played a couple different bars down there and stuff, and it's cool. We're working on kind of rebranding ourselves and doing a lot of new stuff in this new year. So hopefully a lot more will be coming up very soon. Trying to work with a new agency on possibly booking some shows and things like that too. So it's just kind of all, at grassroots level right now, but it's been cool. Nashville's been a lot of fun. It's been very enlightening, to say the least. So
yeah, I think that's like one of the key things of what makes St. Louis a great music town also is that it's affordable, and it's like, and easy to tour out of. So much like Nashville, I know there's parts of Nashville it's a little more expensive than others, but Midwest here is a lot more cheap, a lot cheaper, reasonable lifestyle than the coast and stuff. So,
man, oh man, I went to dinner with some friends last night, and I just they had their kids with them and stuff, and I grabbed the check, and they go, "You didn't have to do that," and I was like, "Well, the check's $80, which is not to shake nothing at that, but like that's like 3 beers on Broadway in Nashville." So yeah, I know I'm all about the Midwest being much cheaper than those bigger cities. Nashville's kind of gotten up there quite a bit with. The cost of living in Nashville isn't near as expensive as just everything else. But yeah, no, I'm all for the Midwest. It's kind of good too, man. I mean, that's the draw of it. And There's a beauty in that too.
I think I don't know. It was a headline, but like even like something they said something about like even like New York Broadway performers were moving to St. Louis and stuff like to be a part of the arts theater here in St. Louis and stuff, just because of that it is a much more affordable lifestyle and stuff. So. So it's cool that people are realizing like that, you don't need to be from LA or New York to make it, you can make it anywhere. Especially now, like you said, with the internet, having all these things that are at our fingertips and stuff, it's people will recognize you wherever you're at.
It's really up to the artist, man. And I mean, the world's gotten substantially smaller since the internet boom and everything like that. And
right.
It's really up to your fan base, and most of your fan base they'll travel, so it's it's cool. I'm glad to see you getting the recognition out there. That's important.
So what's do you have is there anything like crazy yet you get into any like celebrity run-ins or anything like that where you kind of geeked out on down there in Nashville?
There's a couple of different ways you could say it. I almost got in a fight with a pretty big one a couple weeks ago.
Uh-oh.
I won't say who he is, but he had too many whiskey glasses that night and shoulder checked the hell out of me at the bar. And yeah, it was fun. But no, there's been some run-ins, some good, some bad. But it's always good. We're good friends at the Co-Wetzel camp. They're good buddies of ours, and they always roll through there. So it's good to see those guys when they come to town. And there's everybody out there. I mean, shoot, I had a running joke of like I run into Chris Young more than I do my friends because I've seen him like everywhere. I haven't talked to him because also that's the nice thing about Nashville too, though, is I remember like in my hometown when we'd play shows with like Brantley Gilbert or Trace Adkins and stuff like that, and both great camps, great guys, by the way. But we'd go out after the show and you don't get a minute, to talk to anybody because you're getting swarmed. And this was in my hometown, so it wasn't near what it is in Nashville. But it's cool how in Nashville, everybody's really respectful of those artists' space and stuff like that, and they don't really try to just crowd them and get autographs or pictures and stuff like that. Sometimes there's a setting for it, and there's a setting where they're just trying to be normal people. So, but yeah, I've seen Chris Young about 10 times just running through bars or restaurants. Right. But and there's a lot of other artists that are really cool that are out there that I run into all the time. And it's kind of funny getting in the loop with some of those folks, and you just wind up running in the same crowds. And I'm good friends with a guy that used to play with the Cadillac 3 when they were a band called American Bang a couple of years ago. So yeah, no, it's fun, man. It's a really small town. It's a really huge small town. So
yeah. Excuse me. I don't know. I think that stuff's funny too. Like, I used to work in a bar here in St. Louis, and pretty great spot historically and stuff. If you ever make it this way, it's Broadway Oyster Bar down on Broadway.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. It's a couple blocks from the ballpark. Yeah, and I mean, the food's amazing, but the music's 7 days a week, and we used to get a lot of clientele like that, and there'll be I was in there one night. It was like motocross was in town, and that I think what's his Jeremy McGrath, I think is his name.
Yep.
He's sitting there eating dinner, and I worked the door there, and people were like, "Is that Jeremy McGrath?" And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, like, maybe. Like, I don't, especially him. Like, usually I see him with a helmet on, so it's like I don't really know.
Right. It is funny, man.
But it was like, but that same kind of thing is like, I'm not going to go bother the guy if he's eating dinner and stuff. It's like he's not there to be Jeremy. He's just there, to, having a meal. So.
That was fun.
Yeah, you got to be respectful of that stuff when people are, not necessarily on the clock kind of thing. And it's like,
yeah, the biggest geek out I think I've had, and I didn't talk to him at all, but I was actually on a trip to Europe, and I was coming back from London to to New York, and I was sat down in the terminal area, whatever, and there were these two young British girls. I mean, like 5 and 10 years old or whatever, and their mom was there, and she was like, "Do you want anything?" And Mommy, I want a book and some candy. And so the mom went off and went to go get them stuff for the plane to keep them entertained, and the dad was there, who I thought was the dad, but it was Mom's boyfriend. And he goes, "Where's your mom at?" And I was just kind of like, man, that guy, like, he's about my height, my build. I was like, he looks a lot like David Harbour from Stranger Things, but he had a mask on. Like, nah, I was like, there's no way. Well, it was David Harbour, and his girlfriend is that pop gal, has "Make Me Smile," whatever. But she went. That was who that was, and I was like, oh my god. So we both had priority boarding. So I'd stepped up, and he had a bucket hat on and a mask on to hide himself. And because I didn't realize over in Europe, Stranger Things is way bigger than it is in the United States. I mean, it's everywhere, and people are the T-shirts and everything. I mean, it's huge over there, even bigger than the U.S. So it was funny. So he'd given the worker his passport, and she looks and goes, "Sir, can you pull your mask down, please? Like, there's no way." And then he did, and she goes, "Oh, okay, put it back up. You're okay." And it was funny because I'm sure the 2020 thing, the mask was a great thing for hiding that you're a celebrity because you could fit in with everybody. But now if you're wearing a mask, it almost like makes people look at you specifically. So, but it was funny. That was how he was hiding who he was. And I was like, I can't say hi to him. I can't say, I can't. That's like a lifetime of bad karma for any success I may find in getting swarmed. But when we got off the airport, I was like the exit row, right behind the first class row where he was, and he'd left a book there or whatever, and I about grabbed it to bring to him or something, but I was like, maybe he meant to leave it. And he goes, he turned around and started coming back, and as he was walking past me, I was like, "Glad you didn't die, Hop." And he's like, he kind of looks at me and just nods and shakes his head. But it was like kind of like a thanks for not making a scene about it. But yeah, that's funny. Yeah. And so I was like, that was kind of a perfect thing. But in my world, I don't meet a lot of actors, so that's what I was geeking out for sure on that one. But no, that was funny. But yeah, in Nashville, you'll run into people like that too. I mean, it seems like everybody comes through, and so yeah, I usually try to avoid them.
Yeah. You've been watching or back in the summer? Were you watching Stranger Things?
Yeah, I'm all caught up. It's pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's a solid show, man. It's a lot of fun. It's pretty wild. I've been
every time you think they're ending it, and then it just goes back, and the world's falling apart again.
Oh yeah. What else you been watching? You got any what are you binging lately?
Neck deep in Yellowstone, like a lot of people. Let's see, what was the one that I was watching recently? Gosh, I can't remember, but I mean, I have such a high freaking turnover on all of them. I wound up binging The Sopranos. I'd never watched it top to bottom before, and so I went back and I watched all of it a couple months back, and that was good to get through. But yeah, no, Yellowstone I'm watching every week. They just came out with the offshoot with Harrison Ford, 1923, so that one's pretty good. I watched the first episode of that last night, and it's just kind of whatever. I don't know. I actually watched a movie last night called Where the Crawdads Sing that just came out, and that was like really good. I love twist endings, so that was pretty sick. I was into that.
Yeah, buddy recommended it. He said it's pretty emotional.
Yeah, it's super intense, man, but it's cool.
Yeah, I have to check that out. I've been wanting to. It's been on the list for a little bit. I need to sit down and do that. But yeah, Yellowstone is cool to see Lainey Wilson's career blowing up. And
dude, yes, Lainey's such a sweetheart. I met her at Country Radio Seminar last year in February and got to talk to her for about 5 minutes and stuff. And I'd never met her formally before, but I'd had back and forths with her on Instagram and stuff. So she's such a cool artist and such a cool human. She's been working her ass off for years, and finally she got the recognition that she's very, very much deserved. So It's gone really well for her recently. It's cool to see her getting her moment in the spotlight. That's pretty cool. Couldn't happen to a better person.
Yeah. She just rolled through town. The WIL, local station here in town, did a big holiday party, and they had Chris Jansen, Tyler Hubbard, and Mitchell Tenpenny, and Lainey Wilson. So
cool. I saw Mitchell a little while ago. He's doing good, but yeah, it's no, Lainey's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm actually a really big fan of hers. I've met with the producer that did they kind of do that Dolby Atmos sound stuff, the surround spatial audio, and that's kind of the big new hub. And the guy that just did her record kind of gave me a sneak peek of what she'd been working on before a record came out, and it's nice. I'm a huge fan. She did really good. So no, she's an awesome artist, awesome person. So I'm really stoked to see her having that success.
Yeah. Well, tell me, you mentioned it briefly, the about new music coming in 23, the single Fire available everywhere. January 20th.
Month of red texts and a few missed calls. She finally changed her mind and came along as a one night, one time, give it a try kind of thing. I knew with one taste, like night to day, to put the world on its head, a new coming of age. And in no time showed, this here will be the only life she craves. We're gonna light it up until that sun burns out. Go until we get it up, then we go another round. So come whiskey with a Tennessee burn, or a backwoods party at the next left turn. There's a flame lighting up the midnight sky, just like the desire in a young girl's eyes. There ain't nothing like a one of the three. Mix it on up and you're bound to see. Ain't just a promise, it's a guarantee. With a good time, good whiskey, or desire comes fire. On the rock, so you think she's tough. Got the kind of walk that leaves your love in the dust. Got you tripping and a calling, all because you're falling for everything she's got. Spend my last dime for one more time, trade off my soul to make her last name mine. Look down the barrel of a loaded gun for just one shot. She's gonna tear it up, your whole world and your heart. And with any luck, she'll choke it up, blow some smoke rings in the dark. So come whiskey with a Tennessee burn, or a backwoods party at the next left turn. There's a flame lighting up the midnight sky, just like the desire in a young girl's eyes. There ain't nothing like a one of the three. Mix it on up and you're bound to see. There ain't just a promise, it's a guarantee that with a good time, good whiskey, or desire comes fire. Tennessee burn, or a backwoods party at the next left turn. There's a flame lighting up a midnight sky, just like the desire in a young girl's eyes. There ain't nothing like a one of the three. Mix it on up and you're bound to see. It ain't just a promise, it's a guarantee that with a good time, good whiskey, or desire comes fire. Yeah, here comes the fire.
We'll have a pre-save link if you're listening to this before that. So check that out. Those are, I don't think a lot of people realize, but that's a great way to, you're getting it immediately to your feed, so you can save it to your favorite playlists and stuff. But those are a great way to get artists like a good boost on the first day, and which is super important.
It's crucial, man. I mean, that's kind of everything for us. That's kind of our lifeblood. So at any time we can get out and push the pre-save link, that's really good. And so that's awesome. If anyone wants to go check out the pre-save link, it's in my bio on my Instagram, and it's on the website. Everything like that. I hope the single does pretty well. But yeah, we got one slated to come out January 20th. The follow-up single is going to be coming out, I think, on St. Patrick's Day. And I haven't really told a lot of folks about that one yet, but I'll drop it here. That one's called Bad Guy. So that's going to be coming out in St. Patrick's Day. And then we got a third single coming out shortly after that, and then kind of a month gap, and then we're releasing the full EP. So I think it's going to be 5 songs, and we're actually going back into a couple different studios here very, very soon to record some new stuff too that might be dropped either along the way or afterwards. And I don't know, we kind of haven't decided yet, but we're the bosses again. So we kind of went through some management changeover, and we're really, really happy with it so far. And so we're our own boss again, and we're kind of releasing the music the way we want to. So that's kind of been another reason why we haven't had music out for a year, but it's good to get back in the saddle and really release some stuff, because it's only doing a disservice to the fans if we're not. So
yeah. What now, like, of this upcoming EP and stuff, is this like, do you write all these songs? Or are you write all the lyrics?
Yeah, I write. I've written everything that we've released, or I guess that's kind of redundant now because we only got the one single out. But I write everything that we were doing, or at least that we're working on right now. I've written all the lyrics and most of the music for it. And but my band guys, I like giving them, kind of a good rein to run around and do what they want to do on it too, and because they're going to be the guys playing it. So, but yeah, no, I kind of gave the premise and the arrangement for the song, as well as all the lyrics and stuff like that. It's all me. So it's all real stories. It's all real things that I've experienced and done. And that's kind of why after college and stuff like that, before moving to Nashville, I kind of just spent 3 years in the world. I was doing finished carpentry work and stuff like that, and playing little dive bars and just kind of doing life. And I think it's important that a lot of folks kind of take some time, if you're going to write songs and share your experiences with people, that you go out and do that kind of thing. Because if not, then what are you telling anybody about that they don't know? And so you got to have a story, got to have something to say. So, but yeah, all these songs are just real life experiences, things that I went through, things that I did. And it's fun, man. There's some funny songs, there's some sad songs, and there's some in between, just kind of headbangers. So we're kind of more of that edgy rock country stuff, like Eric Church and Aldine and stuff. That's kind of more our speed. So yeah, those some of the greats, man. I hope to be like them, man. That's it. They're good dudes too, is from people that I've known that have worked with them. And so it's that's the biggest thing I've really kind of tried to take away from doing a lot of the music stuff lately, has been just trying to be a good person, because there's a lot of shitty people in this industry too. But you mentioning earlier too, opening for Brantley, and kind of triggered a memory. They in, I think it was October 2011, he came to town and played at the Pageant. It's like a 2,000 something seat theater, and this group walked out on stage and they said their name, and you just like, you're like, what is it? I don't know, you couldn't hardly even understand what they said, because it just sounded like mumble at the time. But it turns out they said their name was Florida Georgia Line, and and again, now we all know that name, but at the time, like, you're like, what did they just say? Like, yeah.
And And then after that show, I got to meet Brian and Tyler at the merch table, and they came back and played. I think it was like a month later at a little bar, Blueberry Hill, across the street for like 100 people, 150 people, or something like that.
Cool.
And it was just wild, like to kind of, I became friendly with those guys. They were doing a lot of like this kind of, harder country stuff a little bit on their first EP.
I was gonna say they were badass back then. They were really cool. I really liked their stuff. Their early stuff was really kind of rocky, and I like that.
Yeah, Backwoods Beauty Queen and stuff. Like there was definitely a lot of good jams, and then like they, then definitely kind of got a little more polished with some of the working with Joey Moy and stuff on the new records and things. But it was just kind of cool to be a part of something before even Cruise hit and stuff. Like and then like, it was a game changer. And then like the next time they, so it was, like I said, they headlined that show for like 150 people. And the next time they headlined in St. Louis, there was 10,000 people at the arena.
That's cool, man.
And I'm just like, it was crazy, nuts how fast like that took a rocket to the top and
just popped off, man. And it is cool how that happens a lot too. And it usually happens to good guys, and that's it's awesome that you got to meet them back when they're still doing the rock country thing. And I don't know, that's kind of the dream for everybody, but it's good to see it happen to good people. And no, that's funny though. But yeah, Brantley and his team, man. I mean, when I say the nicest people we've ever played with, and the most humble, down to earth folks. I mean, Brantley, I talked to him quite a bit that day. And my godson's name's Brantley. He's like my nephew. His dad's like my brother. His parents had caught a drumstick, and I was like, "Hey, can you sign this for my godson Brantley?" And I was like, "Do you mind if I take a video for him?" And he goes like, "Hey man, we're gonna get it taken care of for you, whatever." Just it was so cool, and that the kid just thought the world of it. And Brantley, like, I mean, he sat there with his merch guy packing up merch packages and stuff. They laid it all out so he could go through and sign it and go back to the bus. But he was like, no, he sat there and folded up all these little flags and CD packages and stuff like that for people and putting them in bags and boxes. And I was like, you need any help, man? And he's like, no, I think we got it, but thank you very much, man. And he spent a lot of time talking to all of us, and God, he's very considerate, good down to earth human. And it was it's cool. You don't see that a lot, even amongst the nice people. You don't see that a lot. So Brantley's the genuine article, really great person.
Yeah, I never really got to meet him or like fully like get to know him or anything, but like they also did like this country throwdown tour with Willie Nelson, and he was on a side stage, and I got to picture with him, and that whole day was like ridiculously stacked. Lee Brice and Randy Hauser, and I mean, like it was a total party.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun, like especially in a smaller festival setting like that we, a lot of those guys were just hanging out and got to say hey and, meet them a little bit.
Absolutely. No, and that's cool. It's always nice to see them hanging out and still kind of down to earth, man.
I was thinking also, speaking of Brantley and mentioning you on TikTok, you ever come across my buddy Matt F. Bosler's videos on
Sounds
TikTok?
Really familiar. I probably have.
He does like he covers "Read Me My Rights" from Brantley Gilbert for every song.
I'll have to check him out. Oh yeah, wait, yeah. I have. Yeah, that's cool, man. I'll have to check him out again. Now that you said that's your buddy.
Yeah, oh yeah. He's a friend here in town, and he also has a podcast. So he's kind of my podcast rival. So we
cool.
We have a long running feud together.
That's good. That's awesome. Keeps you on your toes that way.
Yeah, but he if you don't know, Matt makes a lot of videos with his shirt off and doing different things with his nipples while while playing "Read Me My Rights."
Yeah, I have seen that.
Yeah.
That's crazy good. This is funny.
Well, he did a whole. He actually, I don't know. I think he said something about being in contact with Brantley. I think like they've been aware of it, so they were going to do something together. And I don't think it panned out. But Matt did a whole record of like these tough guy country songs and synth covers.
Okay.
Yeah, like "Whoop a Man's Ass" and
Yeah.
I don't know. So anyway, it's really, really funny that he, that he put a whole record together of these songs.
Yeah, that's funny as hell. I just looked him up on TikTok. I gotta watch some of those later. I've definitely seen him before. That's funny.
Oh yeah, but yeah, man. So you can find all things Dane Louis at DaneLewisOfficial.com, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Get plugged in and keep an eye out. Like I said, brand new tunes coming in January. And but yeah, man, I got a couple of questions and I'll let you get out of here.
All right.
One I've been having fun with is so day comes along, we get a Dane Louis action figure. What would you like to see as like maybe your 3 accessories to go with your action figure?
Let's see. A bottle of Jameson probably would be one. It would be any Gibson guitar. Pretty much, I'm just kind of a Gibson nut. So any Les Paul 335, a J45, anything. And God, probably my dog. I don't know if they make a dog accessory, but that'd probably be about the 3.
Yeah. I was going to ask. I'm glad you mentioned it. I was going to ask about the whiskey because there's a lot of Jack Daniels in the video. I didn't know if that was still your whiskey of choice or not, or
it really never was.
Yeah.
It was just kind of everybody. If you're in country music or even rock, they're like, "Oh yeah, you got to drink Jack Daniels."
Yeah.
Jack Daniels I was like, Jack Daniels makes me almost get in fights with cops and pee in closets. So I don't really like Jack Daniels that much.
I'm pretty sure that's their slogan, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much fight a cop and pee in a closet. Jack Daniels whiskey. But no, it just kind of. I mean, I know that's the point is that it messes you up, but I can pace myself with Jameson and kind of be kind of calm and cool. I can't do that with Jack Daniels, and it bites really hard. And I don't know, I really like Jameson a lot more, so it's a lot more friendly to me, except for my best friend's wedding, but we won't talk about that. That was a heck of a day.
Yeah. Not to keep going back to TikTok, but I did. I noticed on some of your shotgun videos, you always have a saying and stuff. Like there's always like some kind of great saying, and I'm like, I don't know, I never had any of those, but you got a couple of real good ones, and so they always it was cracking me up too.
Those are my favorite. I like adding that to every toast. Like Ocean Revere and I was a duck, and that one's one of my favorites. And there's the breeze that blows to the trees, and there's a bunch of different little goofy sayings. And
but those seem to like always come out. Again, like you're saying, the toast, like at a wedding and stuff. Like somebody will have some kind of, like, man, that's like who's
who keeps that in the bank?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all right, man. What about a dream duet or a collaboration? Is there anybody in particular that you would love to work with?
There's both female artists. I'd love to do a song with Lainey, but now that's like kind of the crazy thing. That was funny about a year ago in that interview, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I heard she's just kind of starting to make her way, so now she's a superstar." But Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm, I met her a couple years ago, and she's got a really rocking voice, and she and Eric Church did something a couple years back. So that one would be like a dream duet. Because I just dig the hell out of her voice, and I think it'd be a really cool mix blend. So
yeah,
that's definitely a dream duet. So
yeah, man, that'd be cool. And they're she's been keeping busy, so
dude, yeah, they're another awesome human. I met her when I was like 16 years old, and she was just super, super supportive. I mean, we didn't have anything, we had a CD out, we didn't even know how to get on Spotify and iTunes yet, And she was like, "Oh my god, to check out your music and good luck and never quit and stuff." And I've kept up with her a couple times on Twitter, and she's the whole band, RJ and Joe and all of them. They're really great people. So, and they've been turning and burning pretty good too lately. So
yeah, man. All right, what about is there anything you think you could get into the Guinness Book of World Records for?
Whew, that's a good one. Guinness Book of World Records for it. Nothing that I'd be proud of admitting for sure. Maybe gosh. How do I phrase it? Probably like maybe like youngest artist to have the target demographic be 40 to 50-year-old women at shows, I guess. They're like, "Oh my gosh, Bob Seger," and all this stuff. But it's funny. Every time we do a Facebook analytic of a show or a event that we're doing, it's like, "What's your main target demographic that shows up?" And it's 40 to 50-year-old women. So maybe youngest artist to do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just a random one out there that I can admit on a podcast.
Right. Do you get that a lot? Is that with the Bob Seger?
Oh, all the time. I got it a couple weeks ago. This guy in Nashville, he came up and was like, "Man, you look a lot like young Bob Dylan." I met him and I was like, "Bob Dylan? No, there's no way." And then he goes like, "Did I say Bob Dylan? I meant Bob Seger." No, like with the long hair and the beard and stuff. And he goes, "Are you a singer?" I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Yeah, so you're definitely a young Bob Seger."
Yeah.
So, I don't know. There's worse people. I love Bob.
Sure. Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, I've gotten that a lot. So
do you ever throw that? Do you ever throw any of his covers in your set or anything?
All the time, all the time. So it goes over pretty well, given the look. So
yeah, I did. Night Moves is just one of my favorites, and I did it one night on karaoke, and I had people like telling me like that it's how. Obviously, I'm pretty sure alcohol had something to do with it, but they were saying that how good it sounded. I'm like, whatever. Like, it was funny. I'm not a singer by any means, but that's one I like to get into, and
that's a good one to get into for sure.
And my wife sang some backgrounds with me, so like,
yeah, that's great.
So
that's awesome.
It was there's some classic songs, man. I just did a deep dive on his catalog a little bit ago, and it's always a lot of fun.
Yeah, you always come back with something new too, man. Shame on the Moon is like one that I deep dove. I haven't really gotten into that, but I was like, oh, this is such a great one too. He's got a million on them. Main Street's one of my favorites, and oh man, I love Bob Seger. I saw him on his last tour. That was a really good, really good show. He had one of the most amazing bands I've ever seen. It was like a 18-piece band. It was freaking amazing. It was really good.
Yeah, I think I've seen him twice. And one of them, Whitey Morgan opened up, and one of them, Joe Walsh, opened up. So,
yeah, I saw him in 2012. He was really impeccable, man. He was really good. He still had it then for sure. Yeah. So. No, that's cool. I grew up on the classic rock stuff like that, so that's all my bread and butter. Mellencamp and Tom Petty. That was my biggest regret that I never got to see Tom play, but all those guys, it's
yeah. I saw Petty probably somewhere in there, like 2010 or 12 or something. I forget what year it was, but Black Crowes opened up for him and at the amphitheater, and it was a good party. But I same with you. I kicked myself that I didn't make it to the the last time around, and I would have been a good night to be there.
Yeah, he was playing in Des Moines, Iowa, and I'm about 3 hours from there, kind of as a crow flies at least. And Joe Walsh was opening for him, and I was like, man, that'd be such a good show. But I was in college and I was kind of broke, and that was a long drive. It was more the gas money that was going to break me than the ticket. But I was like, oh, he'll come closer, and that was his last tour. So that was my biggest regret, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I mean, that's like, really how I try to live my life now. Like,
Absolutely.
You never know when those greats are gonna be gone, or as we both spoke earlier, losing parents. I just never know when anybody's time's up. And I try to live. I've been a motto for a long time. Actually, when in high school, I had a teacher that used to like live by the saying, "Live this five like your last five."
Yeah.
And I've always kind of lived by that philosophy. I'm always, there's a lot of times where I'm like, man, I don't know, but like, but I always end up breaking down and buying the concert tickets because that's somebody I want to, go see for sure. I don't want to miss if that's going to be the last one. And those
I
kind
always
of,
tell everybody. Yeah, I always tell everyone you never remember how much the concert ticket cost.
right.
And that's kind of the biggest testament to it. I'm the same way. I'm very carpe diem about a lot of those shows, and it's really important. It's really really cool to have the chance to see that, or even like I said, with your parents and stuff like that, with any older folks in your life, and just take the 5 minutes to listen to any story or hear
Yeah.
anything. You'll never regret it. I love that Cody Johnson song "Till You Can't" that just came out. That's got a really good verse about that kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
it's really true. So it's a good
Yeah,
way
man.
to live.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. I feel like sometimes we get distracted, we get a little too busy with our own stuff, and we forget about what's important sometimes. But it's good to slow down and realize what you got around you, and like and live life and have fun, and live every day to the fullest we can. So
Absolutely, man.
yeah. Well, Dane, this has been super cool, man.
Yeah, thanks for
Excuse
having
me.
me, Shane. I appreciate you, man.
I'm really glad we got to meet, and hopefully we'll get you here in town soon.
Absolutely, I'm planning on it. So it'll be
And
cool, man. I'll let you know when we get something out that way.
yeah, yeah. Actually, we got a couple of like um, country bars, like that's what they are country venues and stuff like that are really just like trying to build up country music in town. So like there's a couple of good spots you could come play
I'll have to check them out, man, for sure.
yeah.
We'll get out that way, no
But
doubt.
but yeah, it'd be cool to see you and hang out and enjoy a beverage together.
For sure, man. We will.
Yeah. All right, Dane. Well, thanks again, and I will see you soon.
Appreciate you, man. Take her easy.
Have a good day.
You too, man.